Hey Libra, welcome to Arya Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Libra. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. Okay, we have the Eagle King. This card says the big picture, angelic help. So this is a pretty clear message right up front, that your focus at this point needs to be on the big picture, on the big vision, on the big dream. So especially if you have felt like you might have kind of gotten lost in the weeds somewhere along the way, there might be a need to kind of refocus, to zoom out and to look at really where you want to go. To look at that reason why, what you want to create and why, where you're going and why. This is really giving me the energy of why, of answering that question. And I feel like for some of you, this isn't a question that you're necessarily answering for the first time, but I feel like it's something that you're getting in touch with again, because it could have gotten lost somewhere along the way. It could feel like that true reason that you had this particular vision got lost somewhere along the way. It got lost in, it's kind of making me think of that saying, like, you can't see the forest through the trees. Kind of like almost missing the beauty sometimes of a situation or of a scenario that you're in, or the beauty of the journey that you're on, because it's easy to get lost in all of those details, kind of lost in the minutia of it all. So yeah, big picture, zoom out. Let's open this energy up a little bit more. Let's zoom out a little bit more and see what we see. I'm really thinking a lot about this eagle energy, because this is really a sign of when eagles and hawks especially start showing up for you. And this could have been something that has been happening in your experience. You could have had like an encounter with a very large, beautiful bird, an eagle, a hawk, something like that, that made an impression on you. I feel like if this has happened in the recent past, it's something that really stood out to you. And this could have been a sign, because when we're talking about this eagle energy, we're talking about really a connection to the divine. Eagles are thought to kind of carry up our prayers, carry up that hope, that dream, that desire to the heavens. So this is really a sign that you're close. There's something you're really close to, and it might take a little bit of refocusing so that you can get there. And I think that's why the focus here is to kind of zoom out at the big picture. Okay, let's look at this a little deeper. The Magician. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles. Let me peek at the bottom of the deck. 8 of Wands. Yeah. We were just... oh, it's so funny sometimes. We were just talking about kind of this energy of it being close. Some kind of dream or something you've been working toward. It's like you're really close to getting there. And usually, interestingly enough, usually when we're super close, that's when we start to waver a little bit. That's when we start to have our doubts. We might start to self-sabotage sometimes. We might feel the fear kick in sometimes. It's when we want to give up. Right when we're really, really close. So It's interesting how this message is coming through, because I feel like there really is the need for some of you to get back in touch with that why. Why did you want this? Why did you start this? What was the reason behind it in the first place? What was that thing that lit you up inside? What was that thing you really wanted to create? Because I feel like you might be in the final stretches of something in this period of growth that's pushing you toward this, this dream. And it's like you've got to get on that mountaintop and look out over the area and be able to see where you're going. It's so trippy how this Eight of Wands showed up. So I'm trying to think of how to explain this visual, but it's basically like if you're going on a long journey, and let's say this is a long journey through the forest, it would be really beneficial if from time to time you could get up on higher ground and really look at this thing, look at this journey, look at where you're going to make sure that you're still moving in the right direction. Kind of get your bearings from time to time. And I feel like that's really what this message is about. Zooming out. Zoom out and see, are we still on course? Are we still moving in the direction that we want to be? And it might take doing that for you to realize how close you are. Because with this Eight of Wands energy, there's really the feeling that like something's happening fast, something's moving faster. Something's coming in and you might not really even realize it yet, because you might be in a place where it's like I'm saying, it's almost this energy of from time to time wanting to give up. But I feel like just knowing how close you are and how kind of recalibrating here and zooming out could improve the situation a little bit, getting a look at that bigger picture. So with the Magician, we're looking at manifestation. We're looking at really a sense of resourcefulness and of inspired action. And I feel like that's really important because on the other end of this, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is very grounded, very practical, very hardworking. So we have this sort of magical, mystical energy and this very grounded energy, this spiritual, connected kind of energy, and this very grounded and practical energy. And I feel like there's a need to kind of balance those here. And really zooming out and reconnecting to that reason why, that's what gives the Magician that push. That's what makes the Magician take inspired action, because of that inspiration, that thing that that lights you up. That's the reason for taking inspired action. What's interesting about when we do go into kind of like starting to manifest something or taking this inspired action, there does come a point where we have to really get to it. Like we have to get to the work of it. And it kind of loses some of its appeal. It loses some of that that big picture vision. So I'm seeing why like zooming out can help. If you've ever noticed that you're super excited or very very energized to start things sometimes, but then it can be really hard to keep going through the routine tasks, through the day-to-day. It can lose some of its appeal. But really the reason that you were drawn to this in the first place, the reason that you felt connected to this and you wanted to take inspired action in this direction in the first place, is enough to get you through those times when it can be a little bit boring. So yeah, the Knight of Pentacles represents the work, the effort, kind of the responsibility that follows after those big dreams, and kind of like that Page of Pentacles energy. Like that Page of Pentacles, it's all about the dream, all about the vision. He's not really taking much action yet, but the Knight is going to take practical action in the direction of all of those dreams. And I feel like this is what's going on for you right now. There's this balance between manifesting things, having this kind of spiritual connectedness and drawing your dreams and desires towards you, and then that practical work that has to go into it, and that kind of monotonous side, and these routines that maybe you stick to because they make you better, but it can be hard to always remember exactly why, why am I doing this? Where am I trying to go? So definitely a recalibration, getting on higher ground and looking at that reason why. This is also making me think of mapping something out big picture. Like maybe this is about mapping out your entire year, zooming out and looking at the year as a whole. What do you want to accomplish in this year? Or maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 5 years. It's really giving me that energy that it might be a good idea to take that zoomed out approach and to figure out what you want to work toward, what you want to manifest. I love the balance of energy here, and I'm feeling like this is something that you might be learning, you might be discovering, or you might be noticing right now. How there's this kind of balance between manifesting something, doing this from a spiritual kind of outlook, and then also putting in the work, doing the practical things, and having that belief and knowing that that you have all the tools that you need, kind of balancing those things out. So I feel like this is something that is playing out for you right now, and really a place that you want to focus on that balance. It's so interesting because the Knight of Pentacles is like, he's really not the most, he's not the most inspiring of the Knights. He's not the most quick moving of all of the Knights. He's not even necessarily the most creative, but he is the most hardworking. And with this Magician energy, it's like, it's kind of giving me an insight into your abilities here, because it makes me think you've really got the ability to learn a lot, to put in a lot of hard work, to put in a lot of diligent work, to not give up. You have all of those practical qualities, but you also have this ability to manifest and to like understand how to draw things and opportunities to you. And you're totally willing to do the work. So beautiful, beautiful energy there. But I feel like this is about like, where do you want to go overall? Where are you trying to go overall? And really zooming out and tapping into that energy. I feel like pulling an angel number card for you. Number 1, what do you need to be focusing on right now? What other messages do you have for number 1? Okay. Ooh, I am independent. So this is number 17. Oh, we should talk about the numbers here because I see some interesting things here. So the quality of work you can produce when you are going at it alone is almost unbelievable. You are as independent as you are ambitious, capable of performing every step of the way with efficiency, focus, and skill. Knight of Pentacles energy. Definitely. Definitely. So this hardworking energy and this energy of like, you can do this. So for some of you, this might be kind of a journey of branching out on your own. And maybe there have been moments where you might feel like you're a little bit lost. You're not really sure if you're still moving in the right direction, but really getting that big picture view, tapping back into why this was important in the first place. And if it has something to do with your independence, if that's why this was important, this could be financial independence. This could be you want to kind of have more freedom for yourself. It could be something like that. Yeah, I feel like this is particularly important if this has something to do with your sense of independence or your ability to create something on your own. The Magician energy, the energy of one, and this feeling of independence. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have this kind of like, maybe like an entrepreneurial streak, or kind of this feeling of like, I'm going to go and do that on my own. I'm going to publish my work on my own, or I'm going to get my music out there on my own, something like that. In terms of the numbers that I'm seeing here, though, we've got kind of this energy of 12 repeating here. We have the Eagle King is 12. In this deck, even the court cards are numbered, so the knights are then number 12 in the suit. So we have repeating 12s, and we have this energy of 1, and then of course the 1 in 12. So yeah, 12s talk a lot about growth, enlightenment, completion, or a sense of completion or entirety. They're also a lot about finding balance and harmony in ideas that seem to be opposing, that might seem like they don't make sense together. And it's actually interesting because we have this energy of these kind of opposing energies with the Magician and the Knight of Pentacles, spiritual energy here, and a very grounded, earthy energy here. So yeah, I think this idea of bringing those into balance is being reinforced with this repeating number 12 thing. You might even have noticed repeating number 12s, because this does seem to be showing up a lot for you. I feel like for some of you, there might be kind of this feeling that you've had to potentially like do work that doesn't really inspire you in order to move toward this bigger picture goal, or put in work towards something that it's almost like you would just be doing this temporarily. You would just be doing this until you're able to do this other thing that you love full time. And I feel like there could be this energy of getting lost in that. And you might feel like you have a little bit of a conflict. Like, I'm doing this so that I can get to this other place, and it's really hard for me to keep doing this. So I'll just use the example of a job. Let's say I wanted to start a business, and I'm working this job because for right now it is supporting me. It might help me to be able to afford the things I need for my business, but it could be maybe a little bit discouraging. It could at times feel soul-sucking to go to that job every day when really I know I want to be doing something else. So I feel like this idea of balancing opposing ideas for some of you could be like that. There could feel like there's a little bit of internal struggle or debate where it's like, I have to keep doing this thing that I don't really love. And it's hard to keep doing that. I feel like I'm getting lost in that. I feel like maybe it'll never end. Maybe I'm not moving toward my goal after all. Maybe I'm going to be stuck here forever. And so I feel like this is some encouragement about actually how close you are. And also kind of this idea, again, back to the opposing energies. This could be that there's something you want to do that combines different skills that you have, maybe skills that aren't often combined. Maybe this is something very unique. So this could be your ability to balance things that don't seem like they go together, or for you to bring these two very different interests that you have together into one thing that makes sense. And it might even be something that you doubt at times. So zooming out and getting that big picture might help you to see how these things fit together cohesively, how they actually do go together, or how you have something to offer that's so unique because you're able to combine these two things. So interesting energy there. The energy of wands talks about new beginnings, opportunity, talks about independence, of course. And we have this energy here with card 17, I am independent. And the energy of two, since those are popping up for you often as well, is about partnerships and relationships, balance and harmony. We were talking about bringing things into balance and harmony, about teamwork, and also about like your divine purpose. So what's interesting here is you have this energy of independence and then you have this energy of partnership. So if we're talking about opposing energies, balancing them and making them make sense together, that might be a place to look as well, because there's this energy of branching out and being independent, and then this energy of partnership. Maybe that makes sense for something that's going on in your life, but it could be that striking out on your own in some way is leading you toward people or opportunities that you are more in alignment with, opportunities or people that you want to partner with, you know. Like there are certain things you might want to break away from and certain things that you might want to attach yourself to. So that could be kind of that energy as well. Yeah, I want to flip your card. I want to see the direction that we're moving in with all of this, or some sort of advice for this. So we have boundaries. I love this because we have this eye up here. It's making me think of the third eye, but it's also kind of just bringing me back to the topic of this reading, where your focus should be, like where your eye should be, you know, where your focus and your attention should be right now. This energy of boundaries is really interesting here because I kind of feel like, first of all, this energy is about like not being afraid to say no. Kind of knowing that you know what's right for you and that you're the one that gets to decide that. I love that with the Magician energy and this energy of independence. So I feel kind of like, if we talk about zooming out, looking at the big picture, finding your reason why, and then we are also looking at boundaries, I feel like there's a message here of like, if it doesn't fit the plan, that overall vision of where you're going, if it doesn't make you feel the way that you ultimately want to feel, when you tap back into that reason why, that feeling that you get, if it doesn't match that, then it's like, these are things to say no to. Yeah, definitely getting back on track, being laser focused, because in life, things start to creep in. We start to take on more responsibilities. We start to grow and expand. And sometimes we do have to get that bird's eye view and kind of look at everything. Does it fit? I may have added all of these things, but are these the things that are moving me closer to my goal? So just tapping back into that original goal. All right, let's pull some tarot. Just want to see if there are any more messages for you. Deck is fairly new and quite stiff, so a little hard to shuffle right now, so just bear with me. Okay, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles. We need to focus on right now. We were talking about, we were talking about twos showing up for you, and the Three of Pentacles. Okay. The theme did not stop. Twos being very significant to you. You might have noticed 222, or like we were talking about before, 12. And there's this energy of balance. Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and maybe even that energy of making the opposing ideas go together, or making those opposing energies work together. I really think for some of you, those opposing energies are kind of that energy of drawing down from the divine and being practically grounded in the 3D. Having that inspiration, being tapped in enough to be inspired by the divine, to invite in that divine inspiration, and then also being grounded and practical enough to get to work at the same time. And I feel like this is something that you excel at. And this is where you need to put your focus right now. It's actually one of your strengths. It's one of your strengths to be able to take that inspired action, to be able to do the hard work, do the tedious tasks, do the things that aren't so glamorous, you know, some of the stuff that, you know, it's not so flashy, it's not as exciting, but it's getting you to where you're trying to go. And you know why you're doing it. That's what's so important with this, is like when we do get to the tasks that are a little bit more mundane, or we run into a problem and things get a little bit more tricky, a little harder to figure out, if we know why we're doing all of this, then we can get through it a lot easier, because we've got our eye on the prize. We've got our eye on the ultimate goal, and that's what that big picture is about. With the Three of Pentacles, there's, again, this energy of like teamwork and collaboration. It was kind of showing up for you with that energy of repeating twos. So I do feel like there's, for some of you, there's something here where you're able to be independent, and that's what you must like about this thing, or that has something to do with your overall vision. But I do think that there is also a desire to partner with like-minded people, to expand and to grow, for your skills to be seen and valued. And for some of you, that's what this is. It's about getting your skills out there. So it might not be about a partnership per se, but it could be like a partnership in terms of finding your audience, finding your people, finding the I'm trying to think of what this is. I guess it's your target audience, really. And that could mean so many things. Like if you make music, the people who would resonate with your music, or the people who would resonate with the ideas that you have to share. This might be kind of, I just got like a podcast, a little message about a podcast. So for some of you, it could be something like that. And it's like finding your voice in that space and finding those that you connect with and resonate with. It kind of does give me that feeling of partnership in that way. Finding your customer base or something like that. Because it's like you're partnering with these people. You provide a service, or you provide something for people that they enjoy, something that enriches their life. And in turn, they kind of provide for you. They connect with you. They help you to grow. So this energy could be talking about that. Yeah, it's just so interesting, this energy of balance that keeps showing up for you. Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which I love, because we were talking about the page with this Knight of Pentacles energy. The page is about the ideas, the dream, the vision, and the Knight is about actually making that happen. And because we're talking Pentacles, we're talking about those practical steps to making this happen. So I love that the Page of Pentacles is showing up for you. So I want to close out your reading with a little bit of advice. So we're going to pull some of these Oracle of the Aries cards and just see what messages or advice your guides have for you. Okay, magical blessings. Whatever you're going through, you're being assisted by magical fairy blessings. The fairies say you can bless others too. That is so beautiful. We were talking about maybe that feeling of feeling lost in the weeds sometimes, or not being sure if you're still on that path. Still moving in the direction that you want to, still have your eye on the prize and know what the big picture is. And I just feel like this is such a beautiful message that you're being supported. I feel like it's another message like this Eight of Wands. I think you are a lot closer than you may realize sometimes. And again, that bird's eye view is going to help you to see that. Lost and found. What was once lost is about to be found. Yes. Thanks. Thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things we never even realized were lost. Yeah, I feel like you guys are moving toward a goal here. Moving toward this big vision that you've had for yourself. And it's just a matter of getting that bird's eye view to kind of see, just to reconnect with that, to reconnect with the heart of why this was beautiful and magical and special and the direction you wanted to move in the first place. And I feel like that zoom out, that's kind of how we get the found part of this. If you did feel like maybe you lost that vision, you lost direction, you're not sure if you're still moving in that way, this bird's eye view is going to help you to find that again. This could be a literal message for some of you, especially if something has gone missing recently. I feel like this could be a sign that you will find this thing, this missing item, very soon. I do feel like for some of you, tying back to this magician energy, I feel like there's something connecting this lost and found energy with the magician energy. So this could be some part of you that you felt you lost, or a skill that you felt you lost, that you are about to rediscover and about to see like you didn't actually lose all of your ability to do that after all. For some reason, I just got an image of someone playing a guitar. So it could be something like that, like something you haven't done in a really long time. And you're almost afraid to pick it back up because you're afraid that the progress that you had made in this direction might be lost. But no, I feel like you're reconnecting with something and realizing that it is there. You do have that ability. It could even be like reconnecting with your emotions, reconnecting with your voice. This might even be a person for some of you, reconnecting with someone, or reconnecting with an inspiration or a passion. So yeah, I feel like that's something that is being found within you. Very beautiful messages. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you did enjoy this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye.